gentlemen, coming to you from Lancaster, Virginia, the latest news and recaps in the world of professional wrestling. Welcome to the Wrestling Artistry Podcast. And now, here's your host, Andre Smith.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of the Wrestling Artistry Podcast. I am your host, Andre Smith, and as some of you that is viewing this on YouTube may know, this is my very first video podcast. So if you are a part of the Wrestling Artistry YouTube channel, I thank you for joining me. And for those of y'all who are seeing this for the first time or aware of the Wrestling Artistry Podcast YouTube channel for the first time, do me a favor, please, and like and subscribe to this channel. I'm just going to get right into it. I'm going to review first AEW Rampage, and then I may get into some highlights of NXT, as well as some apparently breaking wrestling news. Rampage took place on January 28th from the Wolstein Center in Cleveland, Ohio. John Moxley versus Anthony Bowens of the Acclaimed. Moxley dominated Bowens throughout the night. Bowens finally got an advantage by putting Moxley to the post. Then Moxley raked the hell out of Bowens' back. Bowens hits a devastating superplex for a near fall. Bowens delivered some sort of corkscrew DDT for a 2 count. Mox hits a power driver for a near fall. And then Bowens tries to hit Mox with a chain, only to get met with a flying cutter. And Mox hits a paradigm shift for the victory. Bryan Danielson was backstage watching on the big screen, and all he did was smile and walk away. Andrade El Idolo is on the impression that Darby Allin works for Sting for some reason, trying to sign him, but Darby wasn't having it. Next up, we have Lee Moriarty and Brock Anderson versus FTR. At one point, Arn Anderson hit Tully Blanchard as they were outside the ring, which was cool for me to watch, considering I had grown up watching those guys back in the NWA. At one point, FTR got the win with a spike power driver on Lee. The TBS title match took place as Jade Cargill, the champion, defended against Julia Hart of the Varsity Blondes. Jade dominates this match, and at one point, when she had Julia Hart in trouble, she started doing push-ups and sit-ups. Jade hits a big boot, followed by Jaded for the win. The AEW World Tag Team title match was the main event, as Jurassic Express faced Private Party. As the champs got distracted by Gun Club, who was in the crowd, Private Party jumped Jurassic Express, taking out Luchasaurus. They work on Jungle Boy getting some near falls. As Luchasaurus is about to clean house, Matt Hardy hits him in his left leg, taking him out of the match for the time being. As Luchasaurus was trying to make the tag, he was dragging each member of Private Party who was hanging on each one of his legs. Jurassic Express retained with a powerbomb combination after a flurry. Afterwards, the Gun Club attacked the champs, and they stand tall to close the show. Next up, we have NXT 2.0. The opening matches Imperium versus Diamond Mine in an excellent 6-man tag match. At the end, Gunther pins Brutus Creed with a powerbomb. We have another segment in which LA Knight was challenging Joe Gacy and or Harlan to a match for later on. Toxic Attraction then comes out, and they're in the ring being full of themselves. But then Kaylee Ray comes out and demands a title shot at NXT Women's Champ Mandy Rose, who says no. Ray then tells Rose that she will get her match before the end of the night and slaps the taste out of her mouth. As Toxic Attraction is getting ready to leave, Mandy is talking trash again. As she is trying to get into their SUV, Ray is in the driver's seat and just takes off with the tag chance for a ride, leaving Rose behind. Next match is Raquel Gonzalez versus Cora Jade. Jade holds her own but falls to the Conchita bomb. Afterwards, Gonzalez helps Jade up and says to her, let's win this thing, talking about the Dusty Rhodes Classic. The returning Saray versus Kayla Inlay. Saray is not wrestling as a schoolgirl, and Saray wins with her signature belly-to-back suplex. Duke Hudson has a new attitude, and he is only concerning himself with inflicting pain and making his own luck. So it appears that on Vengeance Day, 2 weeks from this show, is Cameron Grimes versus Carmelo Hayes for the NXT North American Championship. So as Idris and Nufe and Malik Blade were trying to come up with a tag team name, Idris asked Malik what would he say to Mandy if she walked in. Then Mandy runs in and accidentally lands on Malik's lap, and Ray is chasing her down. Malik is in a trance. Anyway, LA Knight versus Joe Gacy. Knight was outside the ring. Grayson Waller's bodyguard Shango was distracting Knight. Waller sneaks on from behind and delivers a stunner, which causes Knight to be weakened enough to get caught by a backflip clothesline by Gacy for the win. Waller tells Knight that when it's his ring, it is his ring now, and when LA punches Waller, Shanga chokeslams LA. Waller tells Knight that if he can beat Shanga, then maybe Waller will lift the restraining order against Knight. Next up, we have Amari Miller versus Wendy Chu. Chu has some skills. And Chu gets a pin out of Amari, gets distracted by Tiffany Stratton's credit card. Wow. Then Stratton wants her credit card back. However, Wendy Chu has it. And then Saray was in the back getting interviewed by Mackenzie Mitchell. Then Dakota Kai comes by and just talks gibberish to her. And we have... And next up... Excuse me for a second here. I'm trying to get my information up here. Yeah, I'm doing all kinds of stuff here on the fly here. Y'all have to forgive me. Anyway, Dakota Kai was talking nonsense to her. Next up, we have the debuting Draco Anthony versus Andre Chase. Anthony desecrated the Chase U flag, which is definitely a no-no. Chase hits a hammerlock flatliner onto Anthony for the pinfall win. Mandy gets attacked in catering by Spaghetti and a Cake courtesy of Kaylee Ray. NXT champ Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa in the main event versus Legado del Fantasma. At one point, Santos Escobar threw Braun into the ring steps. Ciampa pushed Wild off the top rope through the announce table. Braun pins Mendoza. Ray gets her title shot next week, finally. And as a side note, NXT will be on Sci-Fi next week. What a heck of a time. Yeah, I can tell that NXT is getting the front office push, if you know what I'm saying. It's like they're putting some more entertainment stuff in there, seems like. But anyway, the breaking news that I was mentioning earlier was that apparently the first of the news is broken by another awesome podcaster, Jason Solomon, who Solomon Sounds Off. Shout out to him. He shared the information, I believe it was from Sean Ross Sapp, and then Dave Meltzer apparently confirmed it. I take that back. It was the news originally came from ringsidenews.com. Meltzer apparently apparently confirmed it as well, that Shane McMahon is gone from WWE. And yeah, I've heard rumblings, no pun intended, that Shane McMahon got heat from from the booking decisions he made on the Rumble, but that's the rumors that I heard. And that, according to PW Insider, quote, in regards to stories of McMahon taking the heat for aspects of the Royal Rumble match, he was indeed among the producers who worked on it. It was said that Shane was obviously frustrated the day of the show, and that some believed that came from his ideas being shot down by Vince McMahon. The talk was he was upset that he wasn't being allowed to do what he wanted, and that he was greatly preoccupied by his role in the Rumble. The feeling among some is that Shane is taking the brunt of the heat for the poor reception to the men's Royal Rumble match, and that when the heat for that blows over, he'll eventually return in some form down the line. Yeah, I would have to say the Royal Rumble, the men's version anyway, wasn't exactly the best show that was put out, but, you know, in my opinion, that partly had to do with the fact that a lot of surprises were announced ahead of time, and plus there's a lot of hate about who won the matches. The women's match being won by Ronda Rousey, and the men's being won by Brock Lesnar. We'll see how things play out leading up to Mania. I know in a few weeks there's a Saudi show coming up, the Elimination Chamber. Well, Bobby Lashley's supposed to be defending his title there, and we'll see whether he holds on to it or not, considering that you have Lesnar, Seth Rollins, and others in that match. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now. Again, I know this was kind of a challenging thing for me to do since I'm not used to doing this, but I'm going to try to work on it as best I can, but let me know what y'all think of this pilot episode, and, you know, give me some feedback if y'all want to, and that'll be it. And this is it for episode 17 of the Wrestling Artistry Podcast. Just again, this is my 17th audio podcast and my first video one, so I guess this will be it. And until then, fans, so long for now.